Participation may vary. Limited time offer.
The Buzzard.
The home of the Buzzard.
Buzzard. This is 100.7 WMMS.
Cleveland.
Giving stuff away.
Oh, hey, want to go to Monster Jam? We got a 4-pack of tickets here. Monster Jam is back in Cleveland, the Romo Fijo, right around the corner next weekend, February 18th and 19th. You're going to see all the classics like Grave Digger and Megalodon. You'll see some new ones like the new Thunder Roarus, Monster Truck, monsterjam.com. Want tickets? Want info? Everything else? It'll be there. These 4 tickets for you. Be caller 10. Good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
The words radio and Ohio both end in I-O. And I-O is one of the moons of Jupiter. Have fun trying to figure out whatever the that means. I-O, I-O. It's the Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS.
I'm actually very Catholic. I was molested. Thank you for laughing. That's awesome. I've actually had people boo that before. That's weird. Why would you boo the victim? It's not like it was my fault, like I wore a lot of chapstick that day and was winking.
Yeah. Oh,
I can't believe you played that.
Ian Bagg. Well, I had to cut the best part off, unfortunately, but there it is. Ian Bagg, a famous Canadian, brilliant comedian, noted Catholic. You grew up Catholic?
So this is how we grew up. My mom is from Australia,
Yeah.
and my grandparents, crazy Catholic.
Yeah.
And,
It's redundant.
But mom broke away. So mom let us go to a bunch of different churches, but we had to be Catholic when Grandma and Grandpa came to town.
Yeah, right.
And that was trying to pick up the pace really quick.
Trying to
I had
remember all the moves.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
clue
Put some
at
shame
all.
in your eyes.
You don't get to drink the wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is growing up in a very specific way when you grow up that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more of a story about a teacher. Anyways.
Well, you know, there's that old, and it's kind of a hacky bit, but like the guys would be like, "I never got molested. What's the matter with me? Am I not hot enough?" You know.
Yeah.
I think everybody ripped it off a tell from 20, 30 years ago. But
Everyone.
there was no
The best.
I went to Catholic school, kindergarten through 12th grade. I
You
went
did?
the whole way through. Not once did we ever hear even a whiff of a priest doing anything weird. So I don't know if we were existing in this little pocket where, you know.
I think if you're not like if there's they keep certain groups.
Yeah.
And when I grew up, it was the sportscaster on TV was taking kids like by the dozen to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And no parents were ever allowed. And then some of our parents were like, "You're not going."
No.
Yeah. Well, I want to go. No, you're not. And then we're like, "Oh, thanks."
He said, yeah, it was like, he said parents aren't allowed.
Yeah.
Not, they don't often come, they're fine with me.
Yeah, no, they weren't allowed, and it was he was so many, and just it's a mess. Let people be innocent, you know. It's just bad. But yeah, I don't know how we got on that track. I was trying to be
You're
funny,
joking.
and now I'm crying.
Catholic,
That's so Catholic.
We're in
so
chapstick.
Catholic.
Yeah, right.
It's so Catholic. We're going to start out having fun, and then I'm going to shame you.
That's
and I'm going
right.
to smack you with a ruler.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ian Bagg is at Hilarities around the corner all this weekend. I imagine that's a show tonight, 2 shows tomorrow.
Keep on imagining.
I would imagine 2 shows on
Oh,
Saturday.
your dreams.
And then probably none on Sunday.
I fly home on Sunday.
On Sunday, you go home, or do you go to another town
No,
and
fly
make
home.
them full of mirth?
Well, it's Super Bowl Sunday, so most
that's
stages
right.
are dark.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah,
I didn't either. I got to throw a birthday party for my kid.
No, on Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, that poor child is not having a birthday.
She plays
I
for the
mean, again,
Chiefs.
I don't. Yeah, right. No, it's like a midday thing, you know. And again, I'll watch the Super Bowl, but it's not like
I'm the same way.
some of these guys are like, I'm going to be busy all day smoking meat and getting ready. And it's
it
like,
starts
okay.
at midnight on
Right.
Saturday, and then I'll see you on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, I'm not that excited about it. Football is fun. My first ever game was here, Cleveland, Cleveland.
Your first ever football game was a Cleveland Browns game.
Cleveland Browns versus
Only way
the
to goes
Minnesota Vikings.
Yep.
Brett Favre was playing.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, people were hammered.
Oh, sure.
They do that.
They were,
get hammered.
They were.
Well, I grew
having
up
fun and yelling at each other.
I grew up a Bears fan, so and they come to Cleveland like once in the preseason. So the only time I ever go to a Browns game is like when the Bears are in town, and it's fun. It's a ton of fun. But like people that do it every Sunday, I'm like, man, I couldn't. I don't know about that.
It's I gotta be honest with you. That game is built for TV.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
It is not as fun at the game, to be honest with you. It's built for TV.
Well, you end up watching the jumbotron the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Whereas hockey is such a great sport live, and they're doing a few outdoor hockey games at the football field. I'm going to the one next week. It's college. It's Michigan versus Ohio State.
That'll be fun.
That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, the outdoor games are insane. Just an event. It's crazy. I'm not a big fan of. A lot of people like to pregame. I like to go to the game, but I don't have time for the whole day event. You know,
it is an investment, and a lot of people. They seem to manage their time in a way where they carve that out. Like I know, to me, it's analogous to like guys I know who are married, they have children, right? But they're always playing video games. And I go, how are you not divorced? How do you make this mechanism work? He's like, she gets it. I come home, blow off some steam. I'm like, bro, you're like in your man cave at 3 a.m. playing some, thing, and your kids are asleep. Some people, I don't know. And so for the pre-gaming, there's like some dudes, like the wife's at home. They're in the parking lot 5 hours. They're smoking meat. They're doing all this stuff. It's like
it's one of those things where I can do that once
a season.
Yeah, like once a year I can do something like that. But I want it to be the food and a drink. I don't want to get blackout drunk and then show up at the game and not know what happened.
How do you recover from that? I need 2 weeks off.
And I need that. Well, again,
and now you've missed 2 games.
I'm not trying. Yeah, I'm not trying to. Like, I'm trying to treat it more like a fun day, not a drinking event where like the
like
point
you're running
is,
a gauntlet.
Yes, I'm going to try and pace myself and really not make it all about the drinking.
I have a friend who has seen 311 314 times.
Oh, no.
You think he would have stopped at 311
I thought so
times?
too.
Yeah.
I thought that was his goal, but no. And now, because of him, I'm going on the 311 cruise to do comedy. So that should be interesting. And I wanted to say no, and my wife said, you're going, and I'm going too, because I used that quote in my yearbook in high school.
Amber's the color of her energy.
Oh, God.
What was her quote?
I have no idea. Gonna get drunk and beat somebody up. The way she wanted to show me, it's going to be fun. So that should be fun.
311, huh?
All right, listen. The ship is full, though. So
It
if
is
you're
full.
listening right
Sold
now
out.
and you're going, oh, my God, I didn't even know this is a thing.
It sells out quick.
Well, these all do. Like when there's a heavy metal cruise or there's a thing,
Isn't Bert doing a cruise?
Bert is doing his own cruise.
He's doing his own cruise. Yeah, that's nuts.
So
people are going to be lost.
The 311 cruise.
We don't need those people.
Miami to Belize and Honduras, right? So it's
Yep.
311. It's Less Than Jake. It's Arrested Development. Comedy by
Yes, good.
Pete Correale.
Good lineup.
Doug Benson.
Good lineup.
You got to have Doug Benson
Yeah.
on the 311 for the cruise.
Yeah.
And one Ian Bagg.
Bad lineup.
Good for you. No,
Goes
it's great.
good down.
It's great.
What are you people doing?
Hey,
Seinfeld.
why does this whole place smell like reefer?
I like the way they put it. No drugs.
Yeah.
Okay.
That seems unnecessarily broad, but the thing with 311 is those guys are so nice. They're
Yeah.
the nicest dudes.
They seem
ever.
from what my interactions that I've had with them, they're the same. I'm very excited about going.
Yeah, it'll be
gonna
fun.
something completely different. And I'm doing it right after the Burt tour I'm doing. So
Oh,
I'm going to
wow.
be hammered for a week, and then I'm going to be high for a week. It's
Right.
and then I'm gonna
Contact
be
high.
Yeah, rehab.
Yeah.
And then you need to go on tour with like John Christ or something just to
Just to get canceled.
yeah. Just,
Do a week in Branson.
By the way, everybody that gets canceled comes back stronger.
stronger, right?
Yes.
It doesn't make
Did
sense.
you see the video of the girl standing in front of the billboard with Louis sold out at Madison Square Garden? She's like, these guys that just were alleged doing something, they can't even make a living anymore. It's very
That's funny.
sarcastic, very funny.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had an incident, nothing like that, but I was in Denver And this is I'm just going to
That's
tell
where
this
all the
story.
incidents happen.
Yeah, so
It's the thin air.
I was hoping this was going to be my canceled moment, but it didn't happen. So I'm just this is just as we're coming out of COVID, boy, when you could get vaccine and you need a vaccine card to get into places.
Mm-hmm.
So the back room, they use a lot of comics there on the show, and it was full of comics, so I didn't feel comfortable in there. So I went out to the bar that they have, which is very small, not much bigger than this room, probably about two bigger of these, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there, and it's me, the bartender, and a lady that doesn't have her COVID card, so she can't get in, right? So now I'm sitting on the other side of the room, and I'm just listening to him talk. And she goes, "How's the show this week?" And he goes, "Meh," like that, which makes me laugh. I just like lose it. I'm like, this guy's good, right? And she's about to leave. He goes, "Hey, come back in January. That's when the good comics start coming back again."
No.
Oh, no. Right? So I'm like, do I talk about this on stage or do I tweet it?
He clearly doesn't see you.
No, it's me, him.
But what? Oh, he saw you.
He's got to see me.
So he didn't even recognize you as the headliner.
No, and the
Okay.
management didn't recognize me coming into the building. So it was going to be one of those weekends. So,
Right.
So they're like, "Do you have your tickets?" I'm like, "No, as a matter of fact, I'm that picture on the wall right beside you." And
You're still that guy where you're kind of.
Yeah, I can walk in
Yeah.
anyway. Like people that
Right.
even know me don't even know who I am.
Yeah.
So
Sam, this is Ian, by the way.
So I decide I'm going to tweet about it because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. So I'm
Yep.
just going to tweet about it.
Yeah.
And I have no Twitter traction at all. Nobody's ever going to see it. So I just say, going to be a great week. The bartender just told the lady to come back in January. That's when the good comics start coming back. Right? Nothing about it.
Yeah.
So I go on, do the show, come off stage, and the bartender's there and he goes, "Hey, good show." And I go, "Maybe one day I'll play here in January." That's what I say, right?
Yeah.
Nothing from it. Doesn't get it at all.
Yeah.
So I go, and the next day I come back, and I walk in the door, and the management's like pulls me over. "We'd like to talk to you." I'm like, "Yes." "We've read your tweet." I'm like, "You read my tweet?" Nobody reads my tweets. That's what I'm thinking, right? So we've read.
You didn't even read my face.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
are you reading my
you
tweets?
know who I am. How would you know? Yeah.
That's right.
So you're face blind. So I go, "Oh yeah," and they go, we read your tweet and we did some investigation and we fired the bartender." And I'm like, "What?"
Investigation. What
and
investigation?
we got cameras all around the place. They also collect the sound. They have.
Yeah.
So we listened to it and we heard everything he said and we fired him. I'm like, "Well, I didn't want him fired.
Right.
And he's going to blame it on me because he's going to think I wanted him fired. I didn't want anybody fired. You got to hire him back." And they're like, "No, he's gone. We got to get rid of
To
him."
them, he was talking trash about the club.
Well, I
kind of.
guess so.
Like,
But
yeah.
still, at the same time, like, don't put me in the middle of it.
Right.
I was like, "Why are you putting me in the middle of it?" And
Yeah.
they're like, "We've had many problems with him, and this is the last straw." And I'm like, "Well, wait for another problem."
One more straw.
Yeah,
Can he
he's
get
gonna
one more
have
straw?
one more.
I'm sure he's going to do one on Monday.
He's a
Yeah.
bartender.
So,
He's got
so-
pockets full of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
So
waiting outside the club for Ian Bagg.
Exactly.
He's
So
smoking
I'm
in the
like,
shadows.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm like, great. I'm like, so okay. So
He's like,
Saturday night.
Now I recognize you.
Yeah, now
I'll
I know
never
you
forget your
are.
face.
Saturday night, I'm sitting in the exact same spot. The exact same
At the bar.
spot. At the bar, but in the bar, but at the
Yeah.
at this exact same spot. Waitress comes over. She goes, "Hey, Ian, how are you?" I'm good. Just want to let you know you had my husband fired.
Oh,
And I go,
That's a real family
I'm
affair
like,
over there.
"No, I didn't want anybody fired. I didn't try to get anybody fired. I apologize." And I said, and it's close to Christmas, and I feel horrible. And I gave them my merch money for the week. I said, "Here's
Right.
my merch money."
Oh, wow.
Like I said, I know they're hiring bartenders at every building around us. They were hiring bartenders here. Before he got fired, they had
Right.
a thing in the door. "We need a bartender. We're hiring bartenders," which made me crazy. I'm like, "You're looking for bartenders, but you're firing one." So I give her my merch money. I apologize. As soon as she walks away, the management comes over. "Don't worry, we're gonna fire her." And I'm like, "You can't fire anybody."
You have the opposite Midas touch.
Right.
Like, yeah.
I'm like,
Everybody Ian Bagg talks to gets fired.
At the same time, I'm like, there's been so many people I've wanted fired through my life that have never been fired.
Right.
These people, I want nothing. I don't want anything. I don't want anybody fired, right? So they're like, "Well, we'll wait for a couple days after you leave, and then we'll fire." And I'm
Oh,
like,
my God.
"Wait until next year. It's December. Wait
Until the good comics
until
get here."
January." Yeah. One of them are going to be
Yeah,
offended. Those guys get offended. The good comics get offended. I just am happy to be here.
Well, I hope
Right?
that curse has been broken.
Well,
I hope my management is not waiting for me outside the door here because I've been talking to Ian Bagg.
Yeah, but you get that merch money.
December 24th I check my Instagram. There's a message. Well, I hope you're happy. You got my wife fired.
Christmas
fired as well.
Eve.
So I just start getting hate mail from these people. I'm like, I didn't want anybody fired. I'm a comedian. I'm supposed to chirp about things that happened to me. You said it. And he's like, I said it, but I don't. I'm like, yes, I know that. It's the management.
Right.
Why are you blaming it on me?
Your Twitter got 2 other people canceled.
In
real life.
Yes, yeah, exactly. My Twitter that can't sell a ticket for me.
Right.
People fired. It doesn't make sense. But now he's come back stronger. He owns a club. But
you'll never work.
You'll never work there.
So I went there this December, right? And I was at
His
their
club's
downtown
called
club.
January all year long.
Not there. Yeah, only January. That's what it's called. Only January comics here at December's.
Yeah.
So I went back this year, and everybody was quiet, and I'm like, I didn't get anybody fired. They're like, we know you got somebody fired. Let the staff was just like, I was like, be polite. I like, you guys enjoy your
Just
last
dropping off your food and like not making eye contact.
I just said to them, enjoy your last week working in this club.
I don't know if you.
Papa's home and he's about to clean.
I was going to say.
House.
Yeah, you're like a fixer. You're Keitel in Pulp Fiction. You
They couldn't do it themselves. Yeah, I'm like I'm George Clooney in the air up there or whatever it is.
Up in the air. Yeah,
just going around firing people from
Here's
town to
a
town.
packet for the next phase of your life, and we really.
I felt horrible though. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, I make people happy. This is not what happens when I do comedy.
You didn't know that the club had you. You were a sleeper agent. You didn't even know.
I had no idea. Here's why I bring this up.
Wait staff at Hilarities, if you're listening.
They're now hiring.
Mind your P's and Q's. Yeah. Keep your head on a swivel when Ian Bagg is
There better be
around.
smiles.
Oh, boy. You're like
you hear about stars where they're like, don't make any eye contact with them.
Right.
Completely different with me.
Steve Harvey, Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah, I want eye contact and I want you to be nice to me.
Uh-huh. It's like a Broadway production where they're like, smiles, people, smiles, smiles.
Like Fantasy Island.
Yeah.
Smiles, everybody, smiles.
Yeah. Your tattoo.
Little man drives into the car.
Oh, my goodness. Ian Bagg is at Hilarities tonight, tomorrow. Saturday's sold out. You can't go on Saturday.
Take that.
It's sold out.
You should go tonight.
7 to 9:45 tomorrow. Is it just one show tonight?
One show tonight. I can only do one on Thursdays.
Yeah.
I flew in.
Saturday sold out.
It was rough flying in this morning.
Flew in for this.
I flew in.
Flew in from home?
From Los Angeles. I live in Long Beach. I know I'm not supposed to say where I live, but I live.
Well, there it is.
I live with the fancy people. I look at the water.
That's not bad. Long Beach.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been there a long time?
15 years.
Yeah. That's a long time.
On the water. On the water.
It's not for
being
everyone.
Better. No, yeah, being in an awesome place is not for everybody.
Yeah.
I love Cleveland, though.
You still doing the hockey podcast?
I do the hockey podcast, enjoying orange slices with Jeff and Ian. My buddy that I grew up with played in the NHL for the Detroit Red Wings.
Yep.
He's a little bit older than me, but and I loved hockey, but I'm a comedian. We actually have great guests. This week we had Pete DeBoer, is the actually the head coach of the Dallas Stars. We get like solid guests that we shouldn't be getting, and then I think we have Todd. From the head coach of the Los Angeles Kings coming on in a couple weeks. We have lots of yeah. We have great guests.
You have Shanny come on? Chat it up?
I would love it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to see him. So I do a fundraiser in Detroit every year, and I'll probably see him this year.
Yeah.
He'll be down. He comes down to it.
Chelios and Iserman show up to that thing? Or is it like
Iserman sends money.
Yeah.
But the people that own the team show up. So
when I was on in Detroit, about 5 years. I did this show here in the afternoon, but I was on in the morning in Detroit. And I would be there doing appearances throughout the year for like Tigers opening day and things like that.
Nice.
And I'd always do the show from Chelios's bar.
Ah.
And I knew him.
Chelly's? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Chelly's. But I knew him from the Blackhawks.
Right.
Because I grew up a Blackhawks fan. And so I was just like, I don't geek out over like athletes all that much. Boy, I was all starry-eyed around Chris Chelios.
It's weird how some of them just every so often somebody will take you down where you're like, oh, shucks.
Yeah.
Just kicking the dirt.
Gee, mister.
Yeah. Do you remember that time in that one game? Like just become the Chris Farley sketch.
Yeah.
You won the champ. That was awesome.
Chelios' daughter is on TV in Chicago doing the games.
Pretty foxy.
A little bit of a rocket.
Yes.
A little bit of a rocket with a Chelios nose.
Yes. Well, still, it's hockey royalty.
Yeah, it's crazy. I Bobby Hall, who just passed away.
Yes, he did.
Here's my best story about an old hockey player. So I was in O'Hare, changing planes, going to some gig, probably Cleveland, and I went up in the lounge, and I was on the escalator, and I recognized Bobby Hall sitting there right away. I was like, "That's Bobby Hall right there. I need to say something. I just need to say hi and get away from him." So I just went over and I said, "Hi, Bobby. I'm a big fan. I just wanted to say hi. Thanks for doing what you did, playing hockey." Right? And he goes, "Sit down. I want to talk to you." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Sit down. I want to talk to you." And we just started talking. And when I left the conversation about an hour later, we had talked about everything from girls, of course, Bobby Hall, drinking, my hometown, hockey equipment, like everything.
He's from Ontario. He was from
So he was. I think he's from Manitoba, to be honest.
Okay.
I know he's a farm boy. And if you find the pictures of him, he was a stud, like a good-looking kid. But when he said to me, and I think we need to remember this with everybody, and not just athletes, is he said, "If I don't get to tell these stories, they never happened."
Right.
And sit down and talk to somebody.
Right.
He because he just loved it. He loved talking, And there's going to be sometimes they don't want to talk to you, but it was great.
That's awesome.
The irony is, the next day, the Blackhawks fired Bobby Hall after talking to Ian Bagg.
And I took all those I took all those things right over to the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah. The irony is about Bobby Hall is he died in Wheaton, Illinois, suburban Chicago, which happens to be a dry town.
Oh. That's why he died.
Yeah, that's right. Acute
I need some alcohol in my blood.
Yeah, that's right. The Amy Winehouse thing, cold turkey, did not work for him. It's always great to see you.
Thank you. I was going to say, I missed you. This whole thing that got in the way. I miss coming into your show. It's one of the best. So thank you so much for having me.
Good to see you. Ian Bagg is around the corner at Hilarities all this weekend. Don't try going on Saturday. It's sold out. Go tonight. Go tomorrow night. Go to pickwickandfrolic.com for all the info. Sir Ian Bagg on Twitter, I think, right?
Sir Ian Bagg with nobody. It's just getting people fired there.
Let somebody you want to get out of a job, get him to tweet about him.
That should be my thing.
Right. Like undercover boss or just leash yourself out.
Well, Kreischer used to do a show at noon, escape work and I could need to get rid of an employee. I could do where they come to the show and I go, "Hey, Bobby."
Got somebody who's not living up to their full